Hello, everybody. It's a Wednesday evening, and welcome to the Tardis on Talks. How are you all doing? I hope you are doing well, folks. Nice to have you all here. So, I've just seen a few things Doctor Who related, so we might as well just get them out there. So, according to the Radio Times, because BBC Three is going back to normal TV, there's talk of a Torchwood reboot. According to the Radio Times, fans are talking about it. No, they're not Radio Times. Just because a few people on Twitter may be talking about it doesn't mean that the fandom is talking about it. The fandom is mostly talking about how crap this era is and how changes need to be made. That's what fans are actually talking about. They're not talking about reboots because they want the main show to be doing well before we even consider reboots. So no, we are not interested in a Torchwood reboot. Bit of news on Funko. Funko has vaulted all Doctor Who products. It appears they may be dropping the license. No more products are available from the manufacturer, including Funko Pop figures and Pez dispensers. This certainly doesn't reflect well regarding how Doctor Who is doing these days in pop culture, considering original Funko is still cranking out products from much lesser franchise properties. So that comes from Chris Kosher. He's a blue check mark on Twitter, who does a lot of Doctor Who stuff. So again, we spoke about on this channel how licensees weren't happy. There's one there now in Funko talking there. Apparently, they may have basically shelved all of their Doctor Who merch, which doesn't reflect well on the current era, which we've been saying on this channel ever since this era began. We knew it was going to affect merchandise sales and all of this other stuff. Listen, the other side can spin all they want and say that this show is successful. And if the merchandise is not selling, well, then it does reflect badly on the show. Remember, even the magazine was begging people to sign up for it online because they're losing an awful lot of money. So it doesn't reflect well. They're the two bits of Doctor Who news that are actually out there. So Radio Times are claiming that fans want the Torchwood reboot now that BBC Three is back. That is a blatant lie. Just because a few people on Twitter may be talking about it doesn't mean that that's what the fans want. The fans actually want Doctor Who to be written well and to do well in the ratings and to do well globally. When the show does well, then we can talk about spin-offs and reboots and stuff like that. But right now, the main show is not doing too great. And as you've heard there, merchandise sales. Listen, we've been saying this on this channel. We spoke about the licensees on this channel as well. Okay, we said that licensees weren't happy. There's Funko now coming out, if true, coming out and saying basically Doctor Who stuff is not selling. That's what they're saying. And listen, they do. It is a good point to make. They're doing other franchises that are less popular, right? And they're still throwing them out. But Doctor Who now is struggling. Nobody wants to buy the Funko Pops of any of the villains that Chris Chibnall creates. Even the redesigns, they don't want them. Okay, Doctor Who is in serious trouble. We've been saying this from day one. It is in serious trouble. People can spin the ratings all they want. People can say that TV habits have changed. Well, if TV habits have changed, the ratings take all of that into account nowadays. They know that some people don't watch TV live anymore. All of that is taken into account. You can spin all you want. The show is in trouble. Okay? And editorially, it's not healthy. Okay? Chris Chibnall has made sure of that. It is not doing well at all. Now, just to briefly address this, obviously, from the other side, there's been a lot of confusion uh, about the stuff that we talk about on this channel. Now, anybody that's been following this channel knows that I've done a few videos with Marty, and of course, we always make sure when we do those videos, especially when we're dealing with rumors from Gallifrey base and rumors from Twitter accounts, that they're from them accounts. Now, yesterday there was a big falafel because obviously those Twitter accounts gave a date, and so did Gallifrey base, about a possible announcement. Now, we did discuss this on this channel, but in no way did I say that this was fact. The only thing that I said is that my source has also confirmed that there are announcements incoming, but they never gave a date. But unfortunately, there are some people out there, again, because they have an agenda, are spinning this and trying to say that I'm making stuff up. Now, listen, I don't care, right? If you're a crappy little YouTuber out there or a Twitter handle that has an obsession with me, the bottom line is this: I never say anything that I put out there is fact. Everything that I put out there is rumor and speculation till either verified or denied. That's the way it is. Now, sometimes I cover news from Gallifrey base, and sometimes I do get Twitter accounts texting me with stuff. I even said with the George stuff that I thought was absolute rubbish. I even clarified in my comments in the video that I'd done. But a few people in this fandom are just so stupid that they don't get that, and they spun it. And of course, thanks to that spin, I had a lot of attention from the old trolls, as you always do. They even came on to me gaming streams. Now, the gaming streams have nothing to do with Doctor Who, have nothing to do with anything that I do on the Tardis zone, and yet they're coming on. I also have people having a dig at me that I used to know without knowing all the facts, opening their mouth and saying stuff that they shouldn't really be talking about. At the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, I put this information out. It's not my fault that people react to it, okay? And if they react to it, I'm going to defend myself, right? If you have a problem with that, don't watch me content. I say to everybody now here, if you have a problem with that, don't watch me content, okay? But don't be having slight little digs, passive aggressive digs. I'm even having people messaging me trying to tell me that these people are reporting, so-called friends are reporting me channel and stuff, trying to store up stuff, right? I'm not getting involved. Don't be telling me is are crap, okay? The reason why I've distanced myself from certain people in this fandom is because of their actions. I was being targeted, okay? Now, if people have a problem with that, again, I don't give a crap, okay? But I'm sick of people coming to me saying, well, they're stabbing you in the back, they're doing this and they're doing that. I don't care. Don't be telling me. I don't want to know what your little conspiracy theory is about people reporting me channel. I know who's reporting me channel. They've openly told us who's reporting me channel and why they're reporting me channel. None of my friends are reporting my channel as far as I know. And if some of them are, well, then that's up to them. They're entitled to do that, aren't they? Okay? So keep me out of your mind games. Keep me out of the bull that's going on. right? Reason why I distance myself from people, the reason why I block the trolls is because I don't want it affecting the channel. And that's just the bottom line. That's where I stand with that. So anything I put out there, if you have a problem with that, rumors, speculation, whatever, right? Don't comment. Okay? If you have a problem with it, you don't like what I'm putting out, well then don't comment and don't watch me. Right? Because you're clearly watching. Because me rumor videos are getting over 1,000 views. That's because of you J-bots watching. So thank you for that. You don't understand at all that this is a thing that's happened in fandom for a very long time. People have always spoke about rumors and speculation, right? And the problem is that I got targeted because of that. And then there's people jumping in and saying stuff that they don't frankly know the whole situation. They shouldn't actually be commenting on stuff that they don't know the whole situation on. If someone's going to call me out and call my sources fake, well then I'm going to respond to that. Especially when the person that's slinging the muds sources have been absolutely wrong every time. Remember, Jodie Whittaker was supposed to be staying. Yeah, season 14, 15. She was going to be the longest serving doctor. Right? These are people that are slinging mud at me now because I happened to share information from a Twitter account, which I made very clear was from a Twitter account, by the way. But they don't care about that. So, at the end of the day, it is what it is. But I wish people would keep out of my business. Stop making comments on a situation you know absolutely not all the details about. And to all those other big YouTubers out there having a pop at me, listen, you need to get a life, get a grip, which is ourselves. And listen, your obsession with me is bordering on insane now, insanity. You really need to go and get help for yourselves. Okay? Because this obsession with me, the stuff that you're saying that I get sexually gratified by putting out false rumor. Are you listening to yourself? Are you listening to yourself, you little weirdo? Seriously? Seriously? And to say that me sources have zero credibility is a joke. Is a joke. I've already shown several times the hits me source has gotten. Okay? Several times. People are still following me. That have been following me from day one. If they thought I was lying, they wouldn't be here. They listen to every stream. They listen to everything that I say. Right? They don't start making up shit because they have an agenda. So you need to pipe down, shut your mouth, and stop punching down. Yeah? Because this little YouTuber here is not going to tolerate your nonsense anymore. All right? I don't care who the hell you think you are. You don't control the flow of information on rumors and speculation that is put out there in the fandom. If you don't like what I put out there, well then don't listen to me, don't comment and ignore me. Yeah? Simple as that. So again, these people don't understand the basic principle and don't know the difference between a rumor and fact. I've never said anything I put out there is fact. There are some YouTubers out there that'll get information from their sources and they say it's fact, right? Go after them. Don't be coming after me. I don't say any of my information is fact, but I know of YouTubers out there that have said their information is fact and then have been proven wrong. So where's the outrage there? No, see, the outrage is because you don't want me to be reporting the news, right? That's the bottom line. Okay, you have such hatred for me, you can't fathom the fact that I might actually have sources and I might actually be telling the truth, which I have been, by the way, proven by the information that I've put out there, right? Does everybody remember the festive special? Does everybody remember I put up four photographs, 4 embargoed photographs, 15 minutes before the BBC threw them up themselves. 15 minutes before the BBC threw them up themselves. They were embargo photographs. They were going to drop new images as before the special dropped. I got my hands on those images because of me sources, and I put them out before, and it's timestamp and all's even there, right? So, like, 1 minute they're saying, oh, maybe he does have sources. The next minute, then as soon as I put something out there, oh, no, he's fake. He's 100% fake. Yeah. Yeah. All I'm just saying is this, right? You need to stop this ridiculousness because you're making yourselves look stupid, right? Yes, some people did have a go at me yesterday because of the news that I put out. I did actually make it very clear that I didn't believe in the George stuff, but there you go. Even George himself decided to have a pop at me. These are big YouTubers, by the way, punching down. You know, they don't like me. Listen, even a few weeks back, I said there was something suspicious about all those accounts. It's even up on me Twitter for everybody to see. I knew that something like this, they were going to use this to try and discredit. Well, you haven't discredited me because I've still gotten information right. You know, there will be an announcement made, right? I've been given dates. The dates came from Gallifrey Base, and obviously that Twitter account, which we made very clear on this channel. If you follow me streams, we made it very clear. Marty was on when we made that clear. Marty's also been in the comment section, actually, in some of the videos. People have been writing back stupid stuff, and he's been responding back. Well, refer to the live stream, refer back to the live stream that I did, because that's all they have to do. But they don't do the proper research. They have an agenda, you see. You know, and people say, oh, there's no again, blah, 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 blah. Listen, it's not my fault that they keep coming after me. I'm just putting news out there. If they don't like it, they should ignore it. You know? And then other people are doing stuff and I'm getting dragged into their mess. Right? All I want to do is do what I do and to be left alone. Seriously. It's not much to ask. Right, well, as it is the Tardis Zone Talks. Let's put the link in the chat. And let's hope nobody's shy this tonight, because I have started an hour later thinking that everybody, because I was starting too early, now people will say, people are here now. Let's see if we get many people on. So the link is in the chat. Right, let's see who's, while we're waiting, let's see who is in the chat. Let's do an hour, Right. Right, hold on. Busy man. I have people texting me left, right, and center. It's ridiculous, man. Right. We've got Jack, Charlotte, problem being garbage. David travels through time, channel 2. By the way, I just want to say, because I keep getting friend requests on Facebook and whatever, I won't be accepting any more friend requests on Facebook for the time being. So if you've been sending me any friend requests, I won't be accepting them right now. There's too much going on that I don't know who's who. They could pretend to be one of you guys, so I'm not taking the risk. Even if you prove it, I'm still not adding anybody yet. So I just wanted to get that out there. Terrence is also in the chat. We've got Dr. JFH 1970. Chris is in the chat. David Rayner's in the chat. Kip Ellis, 8-Bit, Snake Boy, PD Rich is in the chat. Raymond Williams is in the chat. Sadako 24, Dr. Dave, Raymond Williams. George is in the chat as well. I think that's everybody. If I've missed anybody, let me know. Maz is in the chat as well. Welcome, welcome. Disaster area. I don't know. I think I mentioned you already, but there we go. Just in case I didn't. Cam is in the chat. Welcome, welcome. We've got Kevin Jones in the chat. Ezra Goldstein is in the chat as well. We got Tiggy. Tiggy is in the chat. Welcome, welcome. I like that name. The Thing King is also in the chat. Right, let's see. Right. Right, so we will we'll give it a few more minutes. We've got 3 people waiting. So if you're coming on, please come on, because, you know, as I said, it only goes on for as long as we've got guests. So, and if there's only 3 guests tonight, then there's only 3. So I will put the link in the chat. I'll give you another few minutes to decide whether you are going to come in. Obviously, only accounts that are verified with Lee in the chat there, the studio, will be allowed on, especially with all the nonsense that's been going on. The classic 80s fanboy also is here. So as I said, the Funko Pop, for anybody that missed it at the start, so blue check mark has basically said that Doctor Who's in serious trouble. Funko Pop basically looks like they won't be doing any more Doctor Who merch. It is a sad state of affairs. Also, Radio Times is claiming that us Doctor Who fans want a Torchwood reboot. That's news to me. That's news to me, of course. But if there's anything else you want to talk about, pop culture related, I'm not getting in. I said what I had to say about the trolls and all of that other business. This is not what this stream is about, so we're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about any nonsense on Twitter or anything like that. It's just about Doctor Who or whatever else you want to talk about pop culture. Okay, we got Chris Persia in the chat as well, just in case I forgot you. Right, so we'll bring on Lee first, and we'll see what Lee has to say about the latest news. And hold on, better get the timer ready. So if you're coming on, remember the link is in the chat. The link is in the chat. So we'll give Lee 15. We'll give everybody 15 minutes. Of course, we've been speaking. Yeah, some people are talking about the merch. Listen, we've been talking about it on this channel for a long time, but we also talked about the licenses and the rumors that were surrounding that. I'd say Chris is kind of confirming what we've been talking about again on the channel. See, these people, this is what annoys me, right? I hate the fact that there's 3 or 4 people out there just because they're popular with fans out there. As soon as they pipe up about me, they believe them blindly without actually going and checking out my videos and checking out the facts. We've literally spoke about the licensees on this channel several times. We've even spoke about the rumors that licensees were going to consider pulling out because they're not making any money. Now we get the first indication with the Funko Pop. Maybe there's more to come. But again, these things always come up eventually if they turn out to be something in them. And again, my source has gotten this one spot on, it looks like. But again, you know, there's an agenda out there. Apparently, me sources have zero hit rate. That's, you know, that actually made me laugh, though. No, listen, that actually made me laugh because that's not even true at all. Even the Spyfall video was taken down because I released the plot. Like, it's ridiculous. I mean, look, these people clearly have an agenda, right? And they have a following. And then that following actually came on and thought they could abuse me then. But I blocked them. Then they were celebrating the fact I blocked them. Listen, if that's how sad your life is that being blocked by me gives you some sort of satisfaction, well, then you really need to get a new life, because that ain't a life worth having, to be quite honest with you. Celebrating someone blocking you on Twitter is nothing to be proud of, to be quite honest with you. Maybe grow up, because, you know, the world is a big bad place out there. And when you become the adults that you are going to become, the world's going to eat you alive. It's going to be very funny to watch us actually watch us falter, because you as well. You as well. Jack, it's cool, mate. We know you get a little bit nervous, but you're grand. You're grand. As usual, we'll ease you in. We'll ease you in. Right. Let's bring on Lee first, because we do have Charlotte waiting as well. And so, Lee, welcome to the Tardis Zone.
Hello everyone. Hello Zoners. Good to see you all. And I just thought the whole Funko. Listen, if Funko Pop, right, the company that makes figurines of everything, is not doing any more Doctor Who.
Yeah,
that is a death knell right there. If that isn't a massive red flag, I don't know what is. You know, I mean, there is nothing they do not make a Funko Pop of.
I know. That's the thing. That's hilarious. The thing that kind of surprises me about this. Funko Pop, you're right, literally does. It's ingrained itself into pop culture.
If you can think of it, they've done
one Funko Pop of something, and this thing. Doctor Who now is not good enough for them.
Well, it's not good enough for anybody. You know, it's just sad that a lot of people haven't cottoned on to that yet. You know, I mean, it used to be a show for everybody. Now it's become a show for a bunch of hateful people on Twitter who just want to, you know, destroy, scorched earth, everything to have their own way. And that doesn't seem very inclusive to me. I don't know. Did I miss a meeting? I think
it hasn't worked for the BBC so far, to be quite honest with you. Listen, we saw this coming, right? I mean, even the sources were talking about when we spoke about this, when we got the rumors about the licenses, like it's a dire situation. I mean, Funko Pop, look, you either love them or you hate them. There's some people out there that absolutely hate Funko Pop. They think it's the reason why pop.
Someone gave me one as a present, and that's it. that's the limit for me.
Yeah, but it does have its people that buy them, right?
Well, it's a cultural phenomenon, isn't it? I mean, let's be honest. I mean,
and you know what? Anybody that collects them, fair play to you. I mean, there are a few that I've seen. For example, the Alien and the Predator one that they do is deadly. I'd love that. No, but seriously, I know it's cute and all, but some of the
I think that bloody ugly.
But Doctor Who has always had, since they start doing Doctor Who Funko Pop, they've always said this is unheard of. This is a British institution. Well, was a British institution. Like, this is one of the most popular shows, or was one of the most popular shows on TV. Say 7 years ago, even it was still doing well enough. 7 years ago, that's how long it's just taken.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a sharp decline. I mean, look, I mean, you can see it from even the packaging is cheaper. They use less color.
Yeah.
They have less accessories or no accessories. I mean, if you look at, you know, Doctor Who at its height, you know, you couldn't move for merchandise and shelf space full of Doctor Who stuff. Now you're lucky to get like half a shelf, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I seen again another picture, current Who merchandise. I think it had the three companions, was £15, gone down to £8. Now I do know that happens at B&M a lot. Right, but I mean, again, these are just new Who companions, like the current ones, and they've already like dropped in price. It is a shame. Listen, I take no pleasure. People think I take pleasure in hammering Doctor Who all the time. I don't.
No,
I'm
none of us do.
absolutely heartbroken about the show. Really am. But we seen this coming a mile away. I hate to say it, but we told you so. We told you merchandise was going to suffer. We told you that, once the audience start dropping off, it was a bad sign.
Well, I spoke to I was reading the comments on the Doctor Who Twitter page the other day about celebrating the 1 year anniversary of the Timeless Child.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring that up. The 1 year anniversary of the destruction of Doctor Who and the Timeless Children dropped, right?
Yeah.
Which we do have to actually discuss on the chat because it was a year ago. And I want to ask you, before you get into what you were going to get into with the comments, but I want to ask you, 1 year on, do you still feel the same you did?
I am
1 year on, are you worse than what you felt?
I think it stayed level. I mean, it can't get any worse than the episode itself. So anything after that is a diminishing return. I think my anger of it, I mean, I'm still having a debate with someone from the Twitter comments today over it, who is absolutely reticent. I gave them links to Beware, his critique, and he went so far as reading the title and decided it was too biased to actually watch. So I said, well, you're not giving it a chance. If you want to understand the criticisms, I think he solidifies it and articulates it incredibly well. And I think he's spot on with his analysis, but the guy simply will not read it. He said, well, it's biased. I said, of course it's biased. He's watched the fucking thing and he's not liked it. Here's why.
Exactly. And they don't look at their own biases. Like, I mean, when certain YouTubers put out videos there to try spin the ratings or try, give a good review of these episodes and they're struggling, and you can clearly hear that they're struggling to find out good to say. It's just, you cannot have. I was on the stream the other night with Ian. It hasn't dropped. It wasn't live. It's a pre-record. He does episodes with different YouTubers. But we were discussing there because he was hoping to get people on the side that love the Kurtzman Trek, for example, because he's a big Trekkie, right? And I said to him, and I made the point on that stream, and it's a true fact. None of these guys want to actually have a debate with you. They don't want to hear our sides of the argument, right? They don't want to hear
it's la 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 all the time.
Yeah, they just want, if you don't conform to their way of thinking and their analysis, then there's something wrong with you in their eyes, right? That's wrong. It always in fandom, there's always been discussions. Right,
but it's a superiority complex, and it's listen. If you are reaching so far to try and belittle anyone who has made a critique of the show, which is objectively poor in terms of writing, in terms of acting, I think the production levels are pretty good. Other than that, it's abysmal. And I think if you're really going out of your way to defend it, and you can't understand the arguments, or not willing to listen to the arguments that are aimed against it, simply on the level of attention to specific plot details and characterizations, etc. If you can't see what the hell's wrong with it, there is no helping you. No. I would seriously question your taste, but I certainly wouldn't call you insane or crazy, but I would say your critical functions might need fine-tuning.
Why is it, Lee, why is it with these franchises, like we see it with Star Trek as well, they seem to be bored and repetitive? There's no, their characters are very shallow. There's no proper development.
Because it's all about the message, the representation, the all these sort of immutable characteristics that are celebrated above and beyond plot and interest. Kurtzman himself has said it categorically that it's not about entertainment.
No,
it's about
a
using it as a
platform to be used.
platform.
Yeah, to be used.
Once you've done that, your entire artistic integrity is not only questionable,
but you
it
know
is
what?
absolutely in the toilet.
I give him credit, though, right? I'm sorry to say this, folks, but I give him credit. I give him credit for actually having the balls to come out straight and actually say that that's what he's using the franchise for. Unlike Chris Chibnall and all the other little snakes out there, they don't freely admit it. It's at least with Kurtzman, he's coming out straight and telling the fans, I'm using this as a platform. Now it's up to the fans themselves then to try and, say, no, that's not what Star Trek should be used for. It should be used to tell good stories. And yes, if you want to get a message across, there's a way of doing it. It's the same with Doctor Who. It's the same with Star Wars, same with all of these other franchises. But these people just won't listen to any criticism, any
well, they've got their stock answers already there, right? So they always go back to the same arguments. Like this guy, I'm having this kind of not a heated debate, but a discussion nonetheless. It keeps going back to the Woman Who Fell to Earth and the ratings there, and then came up with all these figures for this and figures for that, and it's just like, look, I did the maths myself, double checked them. The loss from that episode to the Timeless Children was 57.2%. I worked it out and I worked it out again. And I went by the consolidated figures, right? So I did all that. I did the work myself. I put aside my own bias. I just went by the numbers. Now, this person's trying to tell me that that was a massive success. I'm like, look, it slid off a cliff, right? Provably so. You lose 57.2% of the audience. That is not a success. That is not the indicator that you're providing quality entertainment that keeps people interested, right? That's over a 2-series period. Okay, you've gone from not one of the highest, but certainly up there as a high rating to one of the lowest ratings in over 30 years.
That's the thing, though. Even with the 57%
I don't understand what the problem
that you
is
throw out there, they try spin that in a positive light. There is no spinning a 57% drop off. That's over half of your audience, whether it's fans or the casual viewer. That is not good. If this was a different show and it wasn't Doctor Who, this show would be cancelled. Okay? The only reason why this show is not cancelled right now is because of the name. Because it still does, even we're talking about it, it still does generate that interest, So BBC really need to cop on. 57% Funko Pop, Doctor Who magazine, basically the staff begging you to sign up because it's losing subscribers, right? All of the other stuff. I'm sorry, it's all having all of this.
It's a normalcy bias, right? I mean, there is a term. No, there is a term, and it's called normalcy bias. I urge everyone to look it up. You can find it on Wikipedia. Normalcy bias. What is normalcy bias? It's when the world is burning around you, and you know the little GIF meme. You got the dog in the pub, and the fire's burning around him, so everything's fine, right? That is a normalcy bias. You refuse. It's a self-delusion, right? You refuse to acknowledge that there's a problem. And because you refuse to acknowledge there's a problem, it's so ingrained in your subconscious that there isn't a problem. You really actually cannot see where the other people are coming from, saying, the house is on fire, we need to get out. What are you talking about? It's fine. Really believe that. It is such a self-induced hypnosis that it's quite troubling. I can understand it because a lot of fans do have that problem. They don't want to believe it's failing because it's their favorite show, and they'll support it regardless, and they'll believe Jodie's great and Chibnall's great because they can't face it. Well, they don't want to admit it to themselves.
And it is horrible. It is. I'm going to tell you now, it's not the easiest thing to admit that Doctor Who is a failure. It's not. It's heartbreaking. It's the worst feeling that you can have, but you've got to be honest with yourself.
Yeah, and that leads me to
look at the evidence and look at it factually, and not be listening to people bending the facts. The facts are that 57% of the audience, whether it's the casual viewer or the fan, have walked away. It's a fact that Doctor Who magazine is struggling because they put out posts basically begging people to subscribe. Now we've heard about the licensees, which we've already spoken about on this channel over the last few months anyway. But again, Funko Pop now is indicating, if true, that they're not going to be doing any more because it's not selling. Okay, you see the BMM collections, right? There's been plenty of photographs and evidence to show that the new Who stuff, especially the current era, Chibnall's era, is not selling. It's not selling. There's not. I'm sorry, guys. You might be buying the merchandise, right? That's fair enough. Okay, it would be unfair to say that you don't, and I have said that in the past. You probably do buy the merchandise, right, for the new Who era, this era. But the problem is, there's not enough of you to buy that merchandise. Fans would rather the classic stuff, right? Or some
Yeah,
of
I
the
bet you
earlier
that John
new Who stuff. That's
Pertwee,
the sad reality.
that
Nobody
Pertwee
likes the Chris
Blu-ray
Chibnall
disc,
villains either. The
that
villains are
Blu-ray,
not very marketable. This
that
is the
that that
thing.
John Pertwee Blu-ray set is going to sell like hotcakes,
Of
right?
course it is.
That's what sells. That's what sells. Classic era sells. Modern era does not sell. I mean, how clearer can it get? You know, people are clamoring for good Doctor Who, and if that's the old stuff, then that's where they're going to go and get
By
it.
the way, I'll be fair here and say that the struggles with this show began at the end of Matt Smith's era, leading into Peter
I think it was
Capaldi.
always going to have
I
a
think
dip
it was a
after
double
the
whammy.
50th. After the 50th, you've got very little room
Yeah,
to go because that was the height. You know, that's
yeah,
the peak. Then
yeah.
obviously it's
And
going to
what
have a bit of
happened
a lull,
then
but I
was
mean
they
it's been
replaced
kicked
a
to the
young
curb.
doctor with an older doctor. Yes, for me and others in the fandom, that was great, right? But to a lot of the younger fans, it was a hard thing to take, and
Yeah,
they
the
did drop
original
off.
Not My Doctors,
The
by the way.
difference is with Peter Capaldi's era is though the decline is not as bad. It was a slow decline under
Well,
Whittaker and
it went up
Chibnall.
and down. It went up and down.
Yeah,
This era has just gone down. The only peak they had was when Jack came back, and it was only a small
yeah,
peak. That was
yeah.
it. That
Because
was
Jack will
it.
always bring the audience in. Because even I was looking forward to the Jack cameo, and you know what? I was kind of delighted that he wasn't ruined, even though his cameo made no sense. To be absolutely honest with you, but plot
Well,
holes. Listen,
she
that
did.
festive special, right? I've said it out straight. It might have plot holes galore, but there was some fun elements to it, and I did really enjoy Jack coming back. I have to be honest, and there were a few moments
Member berries.
where Chibnall actually did surprise me, but it's 3 years too late. It's 3 years too late, and still, if you compare this latest festive special to any of the ones that we got before, even the ones that are considered poor, it doesn't hold up to those festive specials. I'm sorry. Chris Chibnall, unfortunately, was the wrong showrunner. And then he has made bad decision after bad decision. And that includes casting Jodie Whittaker, right? She might, listen, if he wanted to cast a woman, right? I've kind of, my opinion on this has mellowed a little bit. I still do believe that it works better with a man and a female companion, and maybe, I mean, Rory, Amy worked in the Tardis. I did like that combo. But if you're bringing in a doctor, bring in a young doctor, bring in a young female companion, and then it's a win-win for everybody. It's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And this is the message that they don't seem to understand. And I had this argument with the guy about diversity again. It's just like, look, tokenism exists, right? It's a big problem within the BBC, and Chibnall is one of the worst examples of this. And I had to explain to him, look, where's the tokenism? It's like, well, you get a gay character coming, hi, I'm gay, bam, dead. It just because you had to have someone come in and be gay, and that was it. And that's a very sharp focus example, but there are so many more.
Do a video on that because I don't think anybody in this Who community has actually highlighted how bad.
Well, I said, that I've spoken to diverse groups of people, right? And there are some who will say it's not tokenism. There are many who will say it is as well. And you can agree to disagree, fine, but I still believe that that is the case. And I spoke to this other girl who was on the comments, who was, I'd never seen her before, and she was really having a pretty good go at these Jodie fans. And I said, my new favorite person. So she ended up DMing me. We had a little conversation. She's a Latina female, and she was dead set against this current era and tokenism and all the rest of it. And she's been brilliant, and she has seen how those crazy people in that hate group talk about you and other YouTubers and all the rest of it, and she was appalled. And I mentioned your name, and she actually remembered you from the Timeless Children stream that you did, and that you were overwhelmed by it. And she said she felt exactly the same way as you, and she remembered that moment. And she respected you for your emotional integrity in your response, and that it was really honest, and she was very struck by that. So I did invite her to come today, but I haven't seen her, so I don't know, time difference and all the rest of it. But she was a very sweet person. I really appreciated what she said.
It's like, look, I mean, that night, I still can't. I've tried. I can't even listen to myself. When I have a look at that stream, because obviously it was a year, and I did try to have a look back. I can't listen to myself. As soon as I start breaking down, I well up again. It's still raw. It's not going to go away until Chris.
It's never going to go away.
No.
That was a death knell right there. That for a great number of fans. And a great number of people who casually watch the show, just, what the hell's this? I can't imagine, apart from that tiny minority who will watch it and love it. I just, it doesn't have any rewatchability to me.
Yeah, if they could sit there and stomach and watch Canon be destroyed and watch a showrunner rewrite everything that we know about the Doctor and stuff in the time.
How they can't see it as for what it is. It's a contrivance.
Okay, well, then I say you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
It's a contrivance. There is no merit. There is no... the only reason it was put there in the first place was to create a diverse history for the Doctor by contrivance. There wasn't any lines by any of the young actors who played that part. Yeah. It was so tokenistic. It was just so cringe.
Yeah.
And even the way they introduced the black female Doctor was tokenistic, because they didn't do it properly. They didn't just make her the Doctor, right? If they started off with Jo, that would have been so much better, and maybe would have got more people on board than if instead.
If Joe Martin had a main cast in the first place instead of Jodie bloody Whittaker, I think a lot of more people would have been on board with it. For the simple fact is, in the 2 minutes or the 3 minutes that she was on screen, her version of the Doctor, she actually made a show of Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, and that's a sad and bad indictment on Chris Chibnall.
But again, the only reason they put her in was in order to admonish the white female Doctor, to make her look stupid. And I mean, I'm sorry, if you're playing this kind of semantic game with with race and gender and all these other politics, that is a creatively bankrupt scenario.
Yeah.
You're not doing things for the right reason. You're doing things to preach from a pulpit, to make a political point, and it's so heavy-handed and so utterly needless in this day and age. And to fall into this crazy identitarian, authoritarian bullshit, you are ultimately throwing any creativity under the bus for a concept and an ideology that fundamentally we all are on board with, right? We all believe in diversity. We're not into, ethno-states and all this nonsense. We understand that. I grew up in a generation that understood what racism is and what sexism is, and that we were getting somewhere to get rid of this nonsense and this terrible attitude to people based on immutable characters, only to throw it back in the pot and make it the central focus of absolutely everything. And I think by doing that, you are making this unnecessary conversation very uncomfortable for a lot of people for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And you don't win hearts and minds by preaching at people and by bashing them over the head and by turning everything political, because by doing that, you're actually invoking the worst aspects of both sides of the debate, and you're making everything racialist and everything gender specific and segregationalist, and it doesn't help anybody, it doesn't improve anybody. The only conversations it creates is resentment from all sides, because no one will ever be happy. And that to me seems like such a counterintuitive thing to do to a society which was already working things out and already progressing and moving things beyond the outdated modes and attitudes of the past.
Yeah.
But then you had to go and make it the central focus of everything. Like none of those progressions had ever occurred, and it threw us right back to the fucking 19th century again. It was just like, this is insane. And look, no one is decrying diversity. No one had a problem with Martha, no one had a problem with Jack, no one had any problems with any of the previous characters throughout history of Doctor Who.
No.
Because there wasn't any motivation behind it other than creating interesting and great characters, which we all loved. But now when they do these kinds of castings and the way that they write them is so facile and so one-dimensional, it's an insult to everybody.
It is.
Everybody.
Right, you've run out of time about 15 minutes ago, but because you're on such a rant and you haven't been on in a while, I just let you. Poor Charlotte's been waiting ages.
Bless our cotton socks.
We do have 53 people watching at the moment. If you do like what we're talking about on the channel, please hit that like button. Obviously, if you don't, you're more than welcome to hit the dislike button. But I'm glad we actually moved this to 8 o'clock. It looks like the gamble going back to the original time slot has actually paid off, because, you know, starting the hour early, I think people were getting confused. I just wanted to start early and finish early, because normally when we start at 8, we weren't finishing until 12, and I don't want to be doing 4-hour live streams. We don't need to be doing 4-hour live streams. But Lee, I will leave you in the studio, obviously. Yeah, I can see Charlotte is there, so it is Charlotte. You got Jack there as well. I'm about to put the link in the chat again.
I would urge people, do come on, you know, don't be nervous. You know, okay, be nervous if you like, that's fine as well. But, you know, just speak your mind and have fun. You know, it's worth it. Do it.
That's it. And you never know, Charlotte might talk about something completely different altogether. Or
she always has a really interesting take.
She always does have something interesting to say, so I can't wait. So I'm going to kick you off now.
Righto. Bye.
I'll see you later. Right, let's get rid of Big Mouth. Right, let's bring on the Queen. The one and only Charlotte.
Hello.
Oh, right. For a minute there, I thought I went wrong. There you go. And as Lee said, don't be nervous. Come on, have your say.
Have a natter with us.
That's it. Have an owl natter. Right, Charlotte. Obviously, I don't know what you want to talk about, but what would you like to talk about? I suppose I should ask you.
I'll quickly talk about the Funko, because that is interesting, and then I was going to have a different point. Still Who, but a different point, basically.
No problem. Go for it.
Well, Gary, in the stream when he was talking about his latest Source stuff, he said that licenses beyond Jodie's era are being affected. He said that's what he was getting told. Classic was getting affected, and Modern Who was getting affected. And if that's true about Funko, they've not said we're not doing any 13th Doctor range. By the sounds of it, they've said we're not doing Doctor Who. So that means the whole brand. Then if this is true, obviously we'll have to see. But that links to what Gary Source has been telling him recently, that it has now gotten to a stage where it's not just her stuff that won't sell. It's pre-Whittaker. And that's what has got the BBC worried, because they could always previously bank on pre-Whittaker. And I think finally it's now the tipping point has affected people just as a whole, disenfranchised them by the sounds of it.
So the
And it's
pennies finally
Funko.
dropped with the BBC, is what you're telling me, and they finally realised now that this show has had a bigger negative impact than they realised, and it's taken them only what 3 years, Charlotte? Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the BBC. They go on like Ice Age times. No, but this is what Gary Source was talking about when he was talking about the recent cancellation rumours. So the fact that now Funko is making apparent noises, it
Wow.
matches to what he was saying is what I'm getting at, because his source made the point that it's classic that's been affected and modern Who.
Wow. Well, if classic is finally being oh my, that is bad. That is bad because you are right. If an era of Doctor Who, especially a new Who, wasn't doing too great, which let's be honest, a lot of the Moffats era near the end was kind
Yeah,
of getting a bit
definitely.
people like, but they were banking. They could always bank on the classic stuff. The classic stuff was flying off the shelves.
Or
And
Tennant.
even some of his merchandise was still flying off the shelf, even if the era was. See, this is the difference, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
even when Moffat's era wasn't doing well, there were still people buying his merchandise for his era. So I mean, yeah, this is actually really sad, if I'm
Yeah, but
honest.
I think that's the problem. I've said this on so many post-sighting groups, that if you tell the long-term fans for long enough, go away. We don't want you in this fandom. You're not accepted anymore. We don't want you anymore. And I'm talking more about other fans here, because I've seen it a lot from other fans. Then if they get told that enough, they're gonna just be negative about Doctor Who in general. So they're not going to want to buy stuff, are they, if they've been constantly bombarded with,
Exactly.
you're the old guard, we don't need you, we don't want you. That's the feeling this era, and some of the fans, not all of them, because like I've also said, there's some very middle of the ground fans of this current run who keep to themselves, who don't get involved in this rubbish, and good on you. If you love it, you love it. But it's the militant ones. It's the ones that have that issue with anybody who's different. And if I think they're part of why the merch is failing.
Yeah.
Like I said, if the old guard has been bashed enough, then maybe that's why they're not buying merch, because they're just so disenfranchised.
Well, look, we said this was going to happen, and you are right. You make a relevant point. I mean, since Jodie Whittaker's been cast, and anybody's had any objections, especially the old guard, as you call them, straight away they've been attacked from day one. Look at Peter Davison, a doctor, who came out with the point that he wasn't quite sure whether this would work, and then he was bullied offline. Listen, as soon as Peter Davison left Twitter, said it was fun after he made these comments, and he was vilified and bullied offline. We should have known there and then that this wasn't going to get any better. And these fans have become more powerful as this era has continued. But finally, hopefully, something is going to happen, because it does. Something has to give. This was never going to sustain. There's no way BBC can keep hemorrhaging money, especially Doctor Who money. And if this has finally made them see the light, well then, good on them. But 2 years too late, you morons. What took you so long? We've been trying to tell you. This is what happens when you listen to a few on Twitter. They don't control the fandom. Okay, but you've let them control the fandom. You've let them control the direction of the show, especially journalists on their side that think their way. You've let all them dictate the way Doctor Who should go, and now look at the mess it's in. So take a long, hard look at every single one of you yourselves, because you should be ashamed. It's not just Chris Chibnall's fault. Yous are also responsible for the downfall of this show and the fandom. People like Paul Cornell, who basically dismissed canon, and then you had others out there openly saying F canon and all of this other rubbish, right? They're the people that enjoy the show. Go ahead, Charlotte. Sorry.
at the end of the day, it's death by 100 like 100 like gashes, isn't it? It's every comment, every personality involved with who comes out and has a bash. It's everything put together, and it was going to break. It was going to have a tipping point. And I think that finale, because obviously they did for some weird. I don't know who runs that Twitter account. They really need to. That's something else they really need to change it with the new era. That Twitter account needs to get new management because it keeps digging up the same like holes of why remember the Timeless Child? Why remember all these really even I think even the supporters of that episode will say, yes, it's a bit divisive. It's a bit divided. Who likes it, who doesn't. So why on earth keep putting attention to it? It's just, I don't understand this mentality. It's like, sometimes the current one is never mentioned. It's
Charlotte,
like it doesn't
I
exist.
believe that the people that are running the social media accounts are of the same ilk of the people that are on Twitter, YouTube, that do all the spin. I think they're all
They
from
have
the
to be.
same. So it's because I agree with you. Why would you keep highlighting something that divides the fans all the time? They do. They need an overhaul. They need an overhaul of the magazine. They need an overhaul of whoever's running their social media site. They need an overhaul with the right. Everything needs an overhaul right now. They need to get rid of
Clean
everybody
house.
and start from scratch. I'm sorry, that's the only way I see it. I see that it's getting out of this mess. There's too many people there that have influence that shouldn't have influence because they are clearly there to divide the fandom. They're clearly there to destroy this. I honestly do believe there are people that are there that want to destroy Doctor Who because of what it represented for over 50 years. And I think there are some people that are embarrassed by it, and this is their opportunity to try take it out. Well, I hope BBC have copped on now.
Yeah, but here's the problem by just having that attitude. The Whittaker era was always going to end. The nature of this show, she was always at a point going to walk away.
Yeah.
Whether that was 3 years like we all suspected, or let's say it was more than that, because there was always a possibility she could do more than 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So there was always going to be an end point. So why do all this damage when you knew that you were going to have a new Doctor at a point?
Because they were hoping to double down with it, I think. I definitely think that they were hoping that the BBC would stick with this course and go with another female Doctor. Now, we don't know if they're still going to go down that route. There is talk of obviously they are actively looking for a man to take the role as well. Again, when we put this stuff out, we don't know what's true. We put it out as rumor and speculation anyway. But seriously, if they do go with another female Doctor, well then I think BBC are not learning their lesson. Now, listen, there'll be a lot of people say, well, listen, they get a better actress. But I think Chris Chibnall has turned a lot of fans off the idea of a female Doctor right now because of the decisions he's made, because of the actress that he got wasn't quite up to the task. He's not up to the task. So he kind of tainted it for another woman. So I think it would be a stupid mistake personally for them to go down that route. But I would not sit here and tell you that they're definitely ruling that out because nobody knows. I reckon, like Atten, it's a 50-50 chance right now, isn't it? They'll either go one way or the other. It's as simple as that. But it's who they get. Go ahead, Charlotte. And I have added on an extra few minutes anyway, so don't worry.
Yeah, and I'll sort of add this because I was going to talk about this, but it's relevant. The next Doctor cannot be cast for politics because of what Barrowman recently came out with, which I like Barrowman, but I don't know what he's playing at because what he recently came out with, it which is blatantly, oh, we need another political doctor. We need another doctor to tick a box. And at the end of the day, the show, we've just seen what's happened when we had a showrunner and the BBC who decided, let's not go for talent, let's not go for creative reasons, let's go to please a group. Let's go to say we've done a first. We cannot do that again. We need to have an open call that anybody who wants to go for this role goes for this role. And if they're the best for the job, they get it. It doesn't matter what gender they are, what skin color they are, what preference they are. If they're good enough for the job, that needs to be the 14th Doctor. We cannot.
Exactly. Yeah, and he's not the first person to actually mention this, because their rationale is, well, the Doctor it can regenerate, so basically, that shouldn't be an issue. But you're absolutely spot on. The next Doctor that they cast can't be cast for any other reason bar they're the best person to take the role. That's it. Everything else that you've said, gender, sexual preference, skin color, I don't care. The best person be picked for the role. That's all we've ever asked for. That's all we've ever asked for. So pick the best person. Simple as that. All of this rhetoric coming out from all of these people. Look at you. John Barrowman is going to come out and say what he's going to say. A few weeks back, he said it's a sin and years actor should play a young Doctor. He's going to come out with different opinions, like some of the former cast members. They do that. They do it all the time. I've no problem with John Barrowman throwing his 2 cents in. But again, you are right. If this is just all about, well, we need this Doctor because we need to tick a box, or we have to show whatever, then you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. You're doing it for all the wrong reasons, and this is why we give out, because you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. You should be doing it for the right reasons. You pick the best person for the job, and that happens to be a transgender person or a man, woman, whatever, right? Whatever. At the end of the day, once it's the best person for the job, and we know that this person's going to do the research like the previous Doctor didn't until it was too late, then we've no problem with that. Again, Charlotte has made it clear that we've had diversity through Doctor Who for decades. It's nothing new to us. But it's the way they go about it now that's disrespectful, as Lee was speaking about earlier on as well. It's the disrespectful nature that Chris Chibnall does it in, and the BBC. That's why we don't like it. If you're gonna represent a group, you have to treat that group with respect, right? And if you're gonna develop character, you have to develop those characters within the group that you want to represent. You have to give them good stories as well, good dialogue. Okay, you don't just put them on a screen for 20 seconds. Say, I have a boyfriend, bang, killed by a Dalek. Just there you go. Yeah, we put a gay man on the screen for 20 seconds for you. RTD would never have done that like that. RTD knew how to respect every person.
Yeah. RTD gave us Jack. That's how you do it.
Right, exactly. Right. In the Moffat era, we got Vastra and Jenny, right? And many others, right? But again, treated with respect, given airtime, given decent dialogue, not just put on the screen and killed off after 20 seconds. That's not how you do diversity. It's actually disrespectful to the people that you're trying to represent. And Chris Chibnall is the reason, and he's right in saying, because they don't understand characters. They don't understand how to develop characters and write dialogue. Very weak with the dialogue, Chris Chibnall is. But yeah, I could go on all night about him, but go ahead, Charlotte.
Yeah, just like I said, the show needs to be sensible. They need to pick for creative reasons. They need to get those fans back. We don't need another gimmick. We don't need another, look at us, aren't we diverse, Doctor? Just open audition, like I said. Whoever gives a knockout audition, whoever really shows something in them, you go with them.
Yeah. I look. We've been saying all of this for what 3 years now, and now it's come to this with the licenses, all the other stuff. I mean, it didn't have to even. We shouldn't even be in this position if BBC had to just listened to the right fans that were telling them their concerns about Chris Chibnall. He was not a worthy successor to Moffat. Um, I know I was one of Moffat's biggest critics near the end, but let's be honest. I think we'd all take him back in a heartbeat. To be quite honest. So again, I will say this. You know, obviously we're waiting on announcements about Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall's future. But I will actually say this. Let's hope Chris Chibnall's going as well. But I will say this. Let's err on the air of caution, because remember, we got what we wished for when Moffat stepped down, but we got Chris Chibnall. God knows who we get next. So, while it might be good at the time to get rid of Chris Chibnall, we don't know who's going to replace him. So, we could be in for even a worse time. So, sometimes I'm just going to be cautious. We have to see. But he has to go. Jodie Whittaker more than likely is gone. Everybody's reporting on it now, so she's gone. But he has to go for this show to have any chance of survival now, with everything that we've heard tonight. Then he needs to go now before it gets worse, because if Funko is the first licensee to get cold feet, there'll be certainly others out there. And if Charlotte is saying what Gary is saying about it now affecting classic merchandise, well then BBC, Doctor Who is in a far more worse trouble than I even thought. And I think it's pretty bad already. So this isn't great at all. This is actually a disaster. But Charlotte, before you do go, obviously you're on Daniel's channel the weekend. Do you want to plug Daniel's channel there before we bring on our next guest?
Yep. So on Friday at 7, we're doing our Excellent Conversation stream with Blue Bonnet as a guest, and both of us are really excited and looking forward to it. And we talk about anything. We do tend to talk a bit about who, it just happens, but anything's on the table relatively when it comes to pop culture on that stream.
Fantastic. Listen again, Charlotte, as usual, thanks for coming on. Very interesting points, and have to be honest, it is a very interesting time right now. I'll be interested to see what other stuff. I will keep you up to date if there's any more info on the Funko Pop stuff by this account. It's a blue check mark. They're in the know when it comes to Doctor Who anyway. So I'll keep an eye on it, and if anything new comes up, I'll let you know, because this is very fascinating. But listen, Charlotte, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. And listen, you have enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you the weekend.
See you at the weekend classic. You can say you have to kick me off.
Oh yeah, okay. Right, there you go. Kicking you off now. Right, we got one more guest to go, so we might as well get him on, and then we'll call it a night. So hold on now. Right, we've got Jack on the stream. Welcome, Jack.
Hey everyone.
Can you speak up a little bit? Can't hear you there. You're very low.
Sorry, is this better?
Yes, it is. How are you, Jack?
Okay. Fine, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Obviously, you've heard what we've been talking about tonight, but is there anything in particular you want to talk about, or would you like to add on to what we were talking about?
I'd just like to add on that from what I've heard about the low merchandise sales, there's not going to be as many B&M sets this year. I can't confirm this, but it just doesn't seem as though they are releasing as many as they did last year or the year before. And that's all sets and not just Jodie's, it's classic Who stuff as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of surprised by that because I knew it was definitely affecting this year. It was definitely affecting the rest of the new Who merchandise. But to be honest with you, I never thought or imagined it would have an effect on the classic era. Now, Gary from Neurotics, apparently his sources, which I would believe 100%, because I mean they're the ones that told us that they were going to retcon canon, and a lot of us, even Gary at the time, didn't believe it until it actually happened. But that source was spot on. But they're talking about it's affecting the classic era now. I mean, that is a sad indictment of where the show is right now. I mean, as people have said, you could always count on classic Who merch sales to kind of keep BBC and Doctor Who afloat. But it seems like it's now having an effect, which is bad news all around. It means a change needs to happen, Jack, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And me personally, I haven't been collecting the classic series Blu-ray box sets because I think the main reason is all the extra stuff that you get is sort of written, even in the booklet, is written by the writers of the current series.
Right.
So I don't really want to be told about Doctor Who by them.
Yeah,
Sort of thing. I think I'd rather wait another 20 years when they release them properly in 6K or whatever. You know?
Yeah, 6K, it'll probably be 8K, mate. Wait, you see. I'll tell
Step
you.
into the picture.
But yeah, I mean, look, you're absolutely spot on. I think that would be another reason. I mean, I don't think the fans that support this era actually realize the disdain fans actually have for Chris Chibnall and his writing team and anything associated with it. I don't think they fully understand uh, that they don't like this man. They don't like what he's done to the show. While some out there will support it, as Lee said earlier on, I would question your taste, but nobody can hate on you for liking something. But there are definitely some out there that support this because they know it bothers us and because of what it's doing. And they openly admit that. And they're the ones that should be ashamed of themselves and disgusted. They played a part in this. You played a part in the downfall of Doctor Who, as along with Chris Chibnall and every decision that he made. You are part of that. People that support this, and they openly just support it, as I said, because they know we don't like it, and that's not the kind of fans we want in the fandom anyway. But there is a few people in the chat, actually, Jack, as well, saying they don't buy the Blu-rays either. So you're not the only one that seems to be doing that. I mean, I didn't know that was actually happening. See, again,
Well,
that's just another sad indictment. The Doctor Who magazine a few months ago basically begging people to buy subscriptions. The magazine has also been hit. I mean, how many more hits does the brand of Doctor Who have to take before BBC cop on?
Well, another one of my problems is that they keep on putting Jodie's logo on everything. This really annoys me because I love the look of the steel books that you could collect for the new series. And if you're releasing a steel book that's for Tennant, it should have Tennant's logo.
I agree.
Not this logo, because it annoys me. And Bolstrek is the one who did it. He did that whole video where the Venus symbol hidden in the logo, and ever since then, I've never been able to not see it.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, look, yeah, I think for practical reasons, I think BBC have decided to slap that logo on everything. But I do agree with you. I mean, even the classic DVDs You stick with that logo as far as I'm concerned, and then whatever logo they've been using for the Blu-rays, and if it is a classic logo, and if it's a classic era Doctor, you should be using their logo. It's as simple as that. But I think it is got to do with saving money. Listen, they could go back doing that again. If this merchandise is doing as bad as it is, as we've been told, and then the Funko Pop stuff is actually happening, well then BBC, they do need to course correct and fast. They really do, because this they're not gonna survive any longer. Fans have had enough. Fans have walked away, and by the sounds of things now, there's fans actually not buying stuff. And that surprises me, because in the early days I did call for boycotts on this channel, and it was like people were still buying all the classic stuff and showing it off. But it looks like now finally people have just had enough. I'm my mind is blown, to be quite honest with you, that now finally the fans are fighting back. This is a fight back, I mean, this is the fans telling the BBC, listen, that this nonsense has to stop. It's time to make Doctor Who what it once was, and get someone in that knows what they're doing. Listen, as I said, Doctor Who's the Titanic. Chris Chibnall is the captain, and it's going to hit that iceberg. It did. It was mortally wounded in Series 11, and it sunk like a ship. Series 12. Yes, Series 12 was an improvement on Series 11, but Series 11 had done so much damage. It doesn't matter what recovery he made. Even though Series 12 still has a lot of flaws in it, it was better written than Series 11. Nobody can deny that, but the damage was done. And now fans have walked away.
I think Series 11 was the ship hitting the iceberg. Series 12, it's split in half. And now Series 13 is going to be the bottom half dragging the top half down.
Yeah. Well, he's been told, if the latest rumours that I got, which the critics don't talk about, but I'll just what we've been told is he has to tie up loose ends. He has to tie up all the mess that he's made, and leave the show in good health, in good nick. I mean, that does indicate something is happening. I hope he goes. He has to go. Jodie Whittaker leaving is not going to solve the problems with this show. So if anybody from the BBC is listening, I'm telling you now, as a fan, we've been saying this for 3 years. I'm going to say it to you again in simple terms. Getting rid of Jodie Whittaker is not the answer to your prayers. You must also get rid of Chris Chibnall and sack all his writing team and start from scratch. He is the problem. He is the main issue. He's the one that made all the decisions. He brought in a female doctor. He's the one that brought in the writing team. It's all down to him. If you don't get rid of him and you bring in a new doctor, even if it is a man, with Chris Chibnall at the helm, nobody is going to watch. The ratings are still going to continue to go down. Merchandise sales will continue to drop. It's as simple as that. So the ball is firmly in BBC's court right now, and yous have a call to make, and that call is that Chris Chibnall's being handed these marching orders. Simple as that. That's all fans will accept now. That's the only thing that's acceptable right now, is Chris Chibnall and his writing team have been fired, and Jodie Whittaker has left the role as the doctor. Right? That's all that's acceptable now. If we get anything less than that, well then you can kiss your show goodbye, because fans will still walk away. If Chris Chibnall's still at the helm after Series 13, well then you have made the biggest error in judgment, and I can guarantee you that you'll be lucky if the show makes it 60th. You will be lucky. And I'm going to shut up now. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Jack, before you head off? You've got about 5 minutes left anyway.
Okay. I've got an idea for how they could resolve Jodie, and how, in my opinion, they should have done a female doctor in the first place.
Come on.
So, the doctor tends to end up in parallel universes sometimes. But we've never seen a Doctor from another universe. Like, if there's loads of universes out there, surely there could be a universe where the Doctor is a woman. Maybe that's who the 13th Doctor is. There was a splinter in time, and she came through into our universe.
They could do that. They could do that. I had a theory on my channel that was similar. I did a whole video on it. I suggested that Jodie Whittaker's Doctor wasn't complete, and that Joe Martin and other doctors were basically pieces of her. I know it sounds stupid. It's like like the fractured in time kind of thing. It created multiverse doctors, or it was a weird theory thing. I still, as I was coming out with the theory, was trying to explain everything, and I don't even know if it came across well. But that is up on the channel. But again, yeah. I mean, they could, but listen, the easiest option he already has, which is that the Master, I know it's a cop-out, but at this stage, I think I'd take it just to get rid of him. It's retconned and then, like, brilliant. But they've already got it out, which is the Master tampered with the Matrix, and it's all a lie. So, they already have an easy out. I hope he chooses that option. Because, if he doesn't do something to fix this, then fans are still not going to come back. There's fans not happy with the Timeless Children. They're not going to accept it. So he must do something to rectify that. And I think he does have the out with the Master. And I think he deliberately left her in as a bit of a cop-out. I think he wanted to see how fans would react. And I've got a funny feeling Series 13, he might actually reverse what he's done because of the backlash. If he's to leave the show in a good state, well, then that would indicate to me, and leave no loose ends, is what we've been told. Well, then that would suggest to me that he will have to retcon this and use that device that he left there already, which everybody should have noticed. He left it there. That there's a possibility that the Master could tamper with the Matrix, because he knew that this storyline that he was doing was gonna cause a divide, but I don't think he realized how much. So he's always had that out. I don't think they have to overcomplicate this thing. Just say that the bleeding Master manipulated the bleeding Matrix, and he's the Timeless Child. I don't give a shit if it's the Master that's the Timeless Child, just not the Doctor. I don't give a, you know what I mean? The Doctor's from Gallifrey, end of, right? The Time Lords, we don't want to know their origins. So he has a way out. He can fix this. And I think he's left himself that one. Listen, it's a simple out. It's a bit of a cop out. But I think he put that there because he knew he's an idiot. And that's what's run. Seriously, he's the captain of the Titanic, man. He knows he should slow down, but he speeds up towards the iceberg and bang. That's what he's done. So,
there's just one problem.
What?
Just one problem. He never lets go.
What?
He never lets go.
Well, he better let go, because if he doesn't, he's going to take the whole thing down with him. And you're right. I mean, it's Series 13 killed this show off.
The thing
this is why they need to make the announcement before Series 13 drops, in my opinion. Because if Series 13 turns out to be bad, it's at least a silver lining for fans is that he's gone, Jodie Whittaker's gone, the writing team is gone, right? And there will be a bit of a silver lining, because then they'll say, okay, the Series 13 is a write-off, but let's see what happens with the new showrunner. Let's see who they bring in, and then let's see, can we go with a clean slate Series 14, right? That's what they should do, but this is the BBC. We'll just have to wait and see what they do. But Jack, is there anything else you'd like to add before? Because I know you were a bit nervous. I know I've done a little bit more talk because I know you were a bit nervous. But is there anything else you'd like to add before we finish up?
Just one last thing is if a new era does come in, the logo's bound to change again, so that'll be really annoying for those who've been collecting the Blu-rays, because the logo will change and then you'll have the first half because they're not being released in the correct order, it's not going to look very good.
Yeah, and then what they'll do then is then BBC then will re-release them with the new logo as they do, and people will go out and buy them if Chris
Yeah.
Chibnall's gone. Of course, I think there is a deliberate boycott going on. I just don't think they want to buy out, and if it gives money to the BBC right now. But look, we're in uncertain times with Doctor Who. This some people have made comparisons to the late 80s. I would have to say there's a lot of parallels right now happening.
Personally, I think it's worse.
But yeah, I would say that I do think it's worse. But the thing about it is that they can actually rectify the situation if they want to, like they did back in the day, but they never bothered. But I do believe that BBC don't want to lose Doctor Who off the TV. I actually do believe that. I actually think they know it can become a cash cow. They've just given it to an idiot who happened to, as I said, crash into that iceberg. But they can rectify this. Yes, some fans will probably never return, and that is sad. But if you retcon this, there's a possibility that some of the fans that turned their back on it might return. There'll be others that definitely still won't return. They'll never forgive the BBC and Chris Chibnall for what he did. I'll never forgive him, but I'm willing to give Doctor Who another chance if they get in people that I believe care about the show. And then when we see what they introduce and what they produce, I should say, and then I can make a determination. But I'm just going to say this: whoever takes over will have to be good at what they do, because I do believe that the new series, whoever it is, will have to hit the ground running like RTD did. It has to be another one of those runs. When he brought back 2005, he needs to hit the ground running, or she needs to hit the ground running, whoever the new showrunner is, and they really do. And if they don't, I fear it's over. They have one chance to rescue this. I've always said it. The time is getting smaller by the minute, by the second. They've only got a small window of opportunity now. So this is their chance. If BBC are really serious about saving Doctor Who, this is their chance. Right, Jack.
Oh, my E-Space trilogy turned up.
What?
My E-Space trilogy DVD turned up. I loved Full Circle.
Yeah.
Watched it. It was really good. Yeah,
well, listen, we still have all that history of Doctor Who. That's one thing they can't take away from us. There's still some good. But I do believe BBC want to really change this and fix it. They can. They're in a better position to do so. I think financially as well, they can get back to where it was if they just give fans what they want. And what fans want is a decent sci-fi show with a bit of action, bit of old mixed with the new, with the villains, and a good space-faring adventure. Get back to what it was, and I tell you, you even do half of that, and you'll win some fans back. There's all the fans want, and have ever want, are crying out for the last 3 years. They've been crying out for decent Doctor Who. That's all they've ever asked for, and it's not. I don't think it's difficult for BBC to do this, and I don't think it's very. I don't think it's it's harsh what fans are asking for. I think they, Doctor Who has, classic era will always be the defining era. New Who, it is its own era, but it did set a benchmark. And if the current era doesn't even hold up to that standard, well, then we're in. Then the show's in serious trouble. New Who set a new benchmark. This new era of Chibnall's has not even touched that line, let alone is halfway. It's that bad, right? A benchmark was set and they can't even hit the target. So if it's not hitting the target that fans expect, and yes, fans do expect a certain level and quality of writing. It's what Doctor Who fans have always expected from Doctor Who. Yes, we know the stories out there that are absolutely ridiculous. Of course, every show has written some bad stories, especially a show that's ran for over 50 odd years. Of course, it's going to have one or two bad stories along the way, but the majority have been excellent stories. And if you can't reach that benchmark, then you shouldn't be showrunner on Chris Chibnall, his doctor choice, and all the cast that he brings in just don't reach that level. Jack, listen, I just want to say thanks for coming on and being our last guest tonight. I really appreciate it. But let's hope BBC cop on, mate, because we don't need another 80. Well, you said it's worse. I would have to agree with you. It is worse than what happened in the late 80s. But just give you the last word. Do you think this show can recover after Chris Chibnall?
A part of me thinks yes, a part of me thinks no. I don't think. I think a lot of the audience isn't going to come back until it's had at least a break.
Yeah, I agree.
But I personally will always come back to check it out.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. I'm a sucker for Doctor Who, even when it is bad. People say, well, why do you watch? Well, because I'm a fan. And that's what fans do. And just because right now the show's gone through a rough time doesn't mean I abandon the show. That's not what fans do. Listen, the other side, they will move on to the next franchise. That's what they do. They're locusts, right? They're not even real fans. We call them stans. That's all they are, right? They're just this mad fanatic, right? They cling on because a show will do whatever they like, and then as soon as the damage is done, they move on to the next one. That's all they are, and that's all they'll ever be.
What I'm hoping will happen though is I'm hoping that if the show is coming to an end, we might get one season 26 like scenario where it at least goes out with its head held high.
Hopefully, even if a new showrunner comes in and it's too late, but he gives us something half decent and it turns out to be the last of the series, I agree with you.
It'd be a good way to leave it. This
show does deserve to go out on a high. It shouldn't be going out like this. This is not the way it should. No show should be going. And this is the second time this has happened. Doctor Who. So no, I mean, look, it's absolutely ridiculous. Let just give us good Doctor Who. Right, listen, I'm gonna leave it there anyway, because I could go on about this all night, but you know yourself. People get fed up when I keep talking about it, so I'll stop now. But listen, Jack, it's an absolute pleasure having you on, and we're back again on Friday, 8:00. So if you want to come back on again, if there's anything you didn't get to talk about tonight, you're more than welcome.
Definitely. I'm sorry if I was a bit quiet and stuttery.
You're all right. You already warned me in the chats. That's why I actually did most of the talking, because I knew you were a little bit nervous. But listen, as I said, you've been doing great every time you've been on. So you're more than welcome back on Friday. And I'm sure there'll be Friday. It's a couple of days away. I'm sure something Doctor Who was an article or something might drop that'll give us something to talk about. But listen, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. Do you want to plug anybody?
Just the usual. You, Lee, Charlotte, Daniel, you're all great, and I love watching your content.
Well, listen, I appreciate your support, and yeah, Daniel does some great stuff as well on his channel, and Charlotte is absolutely amazing. But yeah, listen, keep following those people because they're genuine. Have to say, Charlotte and Daniel are doing some great work. So yeah, if you haven't checked out their channels, please do. But listen, thanks, Jack, for coming on. We'll see you on Friday, hopefully. And listen, if we don't, enjoy our weekend, and we'll talk to you when we see you.
Thanks a lot, Noel. I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye bye. Yeah, I got there quick. Obviously, the usual. We're not going to acknowledge it. Obviously, we're going to stay professional. If anything does come into the chat, you know what to do. Just report them and remove them from the chat. It's as simple as that. That's how we're going to be dealing with all of this nonsense from now on. Just report them and remove them from the chat. You don't even have to take screenshots anymore. I'm not bothered, right? They're just sad little individuals that have no lives. So let them, let them say what they want. At the end of the day, they're being reported. YouTube, Twitter, and all these other platforms will catch up with them when they get the staff back. There'll be a lot of access to grind. Trust me. A lot of these accounts that are bullying will be gone off Twitter soon, as soon as they get their hands on all these accounts when they're back to full staff capacity. So yeah, so that's it, man. That's everybody that we have tonight. I don't know, maybe Wednesday nights for the Tardis. Someone did actually say to me, maybe having the Tardis Zone talks 2 nights a week is not a good idea. Just keep it on the Friday night because you get more people on Friday. So I will actually put it to you guys. Do you want Tardis Zone talks twice a week, or would you like me to go back to just doing a Friday night? Let me know, because I don't want to do 2 nights if you would all rather just come on the Friday night instead, because I have noticed that Wednesdays we don't get many people on. Friday seems to be a better night for getting people on. But if you don't want the Wednesday night Tardis Zone talks, let me know. I don't mind doing it once a week. That was the original way we did it. I just thought I'd give it to you twice. It'd be better that give more people a chance to come on. So I know there's a few people there says twice gives me something to look forward to. So yeah, just let me know if you want me to keep it up. So Wednesdays are usually better for me because I'm at my grand's and I get privacy, says Jack. So, okay, well, I'll keep them going. We'll keep them going. I've no problem. We get all the, listen, I've no problem with how many people come on, but it would be nice to get a few more on a Wednesday night, especially people that are in the chat that I know come on panels. You can still come on and have a chat, because there is plenty of stuff to actually talk about. So yeah, and as I said, it'll be the same on on the Irish Geek as well. If we get any of those weird comments, just report and remove them. Simple as that. We're not going to spend their time or waste their time. And please, in the chat as well, if you wouldn't mind, let the mods deal with it and don't even acknowledge them if you wouldn't mind. Because if we don't acknowledge them, you're not giving them oxygen. If you're not giving them oxygen, then they go away. They're sad. They want the reaction, so don't. So people calling in is what this channel, what made this channel. So let's keep the tradition alive, folks. I agree. This is what we've prided ourselves on this channel, bringing people on and then encouraging people to create their own channels and stuff and go out and do their own thing. I will actually say I'm proud of that. I might be getting criticized in some quarters out there in the fandom, but at the end of the day, I've done a lot of positive stuff in this fandom actually that I never get credit for. But that's the way it is. People just want to focus on the negative. And I wouldn't even mind. It's not even negativity things that I'm doing. I'm just reporting stuff and I get negative feedback, but somehow it's my fault. Look, if I do anything wrong, I admit it. It was like when I did a Jodie Whittaker video that didn't go down too well with people that I knew, and obviously the other side, even though the photos were censored, people still had a problem with it. And I took the decision to take it down, and it was the right decision. So when I am in the wrong, I will admit that I'm in the wrong, but I'm not going to be sit here and accused of all sorts, and then I defend myself and have people take swipes at me that basically, I used to bring on this channel and have chats with. It seems a bit two-faced, if you ask me. As I said, people should keep out. If you don't like what I do, well, then don't support me. Don't talk about me. Just do your own thing, and let me do my thing. As you keep telling people, well, people are free to do what they want on their own channels. That is correct. So why talk about it all the time, or what I do? I tell you, I just don't understand. Charlotte says, you've given me a voice now. Thank you, Charlotte. Daniel, you've encouraged me to start my channel. Listen, this is not about massaging my ego or anything like this. I don't care. I see something good in people, I encourage them, right? What I don't like is some of those people that I used to know having a go at me for no reason whatsoever, right? And then trying to say that I'm causing drama and all of this. Not causing anything. I'm getting dragged into other people's drama, as I've said. I don't know how many times I have to tell people, right? If people stop dragging me into their drama by doing shit that actually gets me dragged into it, right? And then other stuff, other people, I've blocked over 2,000 accounts on Twitter, right? 2,000 accounts, right? Because I don't want drama. So again, don't be coming at me because I defend myself. I'm always going to defend myself against slanderous idiots. Simple as that. So I will say to people in the chat, if you don't like the content that I'm putting out, you're free and more than welcome to unsubscribe, right? It's no skin off my nose. At the end of the day, this is why a lot of you followed me in the first place. And now people want me to change and want me to do this, that, and the other, and to be this way. I will be null. End of. Nobody's going to tell me how I should act, what I should do, and how I should conduct myself. Okay? If people have a problem with stuff that I put out there, well then that's your problem, not mine. Simple as that. So yeah, I think I'm finished with all the nonsense, to be quite honest with you. As I've been saying for months, leave me out, these are shit. I've been trying to do, well, actually, I have been doing positive content with the new Who and the classic Who watch-alongs. Even on the second channel, The Irish Geek, I've been doing gaming streams, and I've been doing movie watch-alongs and doing streams with the missus. Because I'm determined to do positive stuff. Okay? Now, if people still can't see that and still want to accuse me this, that, and the other, well, then that's down to you guys. Right? I'm not putting up with it anymore. People taking swipes at me. People that used to be my friends as well. And then people coming, sending me messages and saying people are stabbing me in the back. Listen, stop with messages, right? I don't care who stabbed me in the back, right? If people have stabbed me in the back, fair play to them. Judas is all. Who cares, right? I don't care anymore, right? That's the way I am. This shit used to bother me, right? But I don't care. I've already seen how people can turn on me. Okay? So it's nothing new. So if there are people stabbing me in the back, let them. Who cares? I don't care anymore. All I care about is this channel, the community that I've built up, along with the help of everybody in this community to make it the community that it is. That's all I care about. And then the odd time I might get some source information. And yes, I do get a bit of a backlash because of some of the stuff I put up, because the other side don't know the difference between fact and rumor. But when people that used to be your friends get involved and start sticking their nose in, start accusing you of being bigger than what you are and all of this rubbish. I know me place. I've already said I'm a small YouTuber. I have no grandeur or the designs or a big ego, right? There are other people out there that actually have a big ego enough for the two of us that think that they're important. Yeah? All I do is put information out there. I never said I was important, right? But there's other people that put information out there that think they are important. But yeah, have a go at me. I think people in this fandom have very short memories, especially people that used to know me. Very short memories, right? I've been nothing but good to yous all. And even some of yous that have never come back to the channel, I still plug yous our channels because I still think what yous do is great. Yous might have a problem with me, but I don't have a problem with any of yous. I just wish that if yous do have a problem with me, that's fine. You made it clear by not following me and whatever. You don't need to be piping up about something that's nothing to do with you. Yeah, we'll be here for Patrick's Day because obviously, lockdown, probably still be here in the gaff. So yeah, we'll do a Paddy's Day stream. What? Why not? Because that's what I want to do. I want to do fun stuff. But again, as I said, I keep getting dragged into other people's stuff. So leave me out of user games. Don't care if people are stabbing me in the back. If that's what people want to do, let them. It's their right. Okay? It's one thing I've always said, loyalty to me is a big thing. Yeah? And I get accused of dumping people and all this and blah, blah, blah. Right? But all these people that I have had nothing to do with have all done something on me or stabbed me in the back in some way or have caused my life to be difficult. Yeah? Know all the facts before you open your mouth, because the people I still have around me, I've been friends with some of them 2 years, haven't turned me back on them. I wonder why. Because there's a thing called loyalty, you see. And they've had to say to me, they have the decency to say it to me face, and we can discuss it like adults. Friendships are built on mutual respect, loyalty. That's the one thing I ask for when I'm friends with anybody. Yeah, if I'm wrong, they can call me out. Of course they can. Right? I've had people come to me and say, listen, blah, blah, blah. But they've done it respectfully. They've come to me, so I respect them more for it. I'm just sick and tired of people having a go at me when clearly I'm not doing anything. And I'm not doing anything. And you can all say, oh, he's playing the victim and all. I'm not. I clearly show the evidence, but nobody wants to look at the evidence anymore. Right? Nobody. Thank you, Daniel. I'm glad you enjoy me FIFA streams. I do have a Celtic team set up, actually. Maybe in the next couple of weeks or month when I finish this one, we'll start up the Celtic one. And I'll build you a good Celtic team that you'd be proud of. I'll win you the Europa League and all of it. Patrick's Day is the 17th of March, and then the next day, the Schneider Cup of Justice League gets released. Right, listen, I'm going to bring on Lee for 5 minutes. We're going to kill the stream in when it hits the 2-hour mark. So we're nearly there. So I'll bring Lee on. When we hit the 2-hour mark, we're going to end the stream. We've got to bring Ted down and do all those things. Cheryl's still a bit under the weather. She's in watching our old Love Island, I think. She's gotten addicted to that bleeding Love Island, man. Jesus Christ. I even on my Twitter account put in the keywords Love Island to block them, because anytime the show is on, that's all that everybody talks about. And all it is a bunch of brainless fools with muscles, with a bunch of brainless fools with big boobs that basically have brainless conversations about absolute shit and make complete drama out of it, and everybody sits down and watches that shit, and it's called Love Island. Don't know how they do it. Don't know how they do it. No, we're in an age of slander and allegation where evidence has been kicked to the curb. You be you and continue telling us your opinion. I will. I'm not going to change. And I look. I just wish that some people out there that were me friends, if you don't like me anymore, I get it. Just don't talk about me, man. Right? I don't talk about yous. Right? I get on with it. I even plug some of yours at channel still, which is, which says a lot about me, because I don't hold a grudge unless it's something really, really serious, which people know have been in serious disputes with people, But I'm just sick of all the games. Like Lee said, he doesn't want to be getting involved in any drama on Twitter either. Well, I'm done with all the drama. Lee's done with all the drama. We're done. So just, leave it. Now, Lee is not going to kill the stream. Here he is.
Hello.
Hello. So, I mean, look, I've said what I've had to say about the whole situation, but I'm just sick and tired.
Well, I mean, remember back in the day, if you fell out with someone, you just didn't call them, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's a whole big drama. People trying to suck me into their little mind games and getting messages that people are stabbing you in the back. Who cares? So what if there's people out there stabbing me in the back? Let them. Right? It's not nice to hear, I will say that, but who cares? Let them.
It's never been easier.
Say what they want to say about me. Let them say that there's someone reporting me channel and all of this crap. I got this today. I won't tell you from who, but basically, I reckon they're the ones reporting your channel and all this. I know this person 3 years. Why would they all of a sudden start reporting? No, sorry, I don't know. No, I know these people. These people have been loyal to me. I've been loyal to them. I've known these people for over 3 years. They are not reporting me channel. The ones that report me channel, we showed, right? And they were reporting me by association. And I won't mention who, because we've already had this discussion.
Yeah,
but I showed the evidence. You seen the evidence. They are the ones that were false flagging me channel, right? That's the facts, right? So I just don't want to be getting involved in people's mind games. I wish people stop sending me messages as well, telling me that I shouldn't be talking to this person and shouldn't be talking to this person because they're talking
Well,
about.
nobody has the right to tell you who you can and cannot communicate with. Full
At the
stop.
end of the day,
That's it.
End of the day, if there's people out there, as I said, stabbing me in the back and report me channel or whatever, who cares, right? At the end of the day, YouTube will determine whether I've broken any of their rules, and so far, I don't seem to have broken any, because any false claim or anything that's been put on the channel has been reversed by YouTube. So at the end of the day, let people, if they hate me that much and they dislike me that much, and they have to do that to give them themselves some sort of gratification, then fair enough.
Yeah, speaking of which, it's come to my attention from Chris Berger that he made a comment, and I've seen this happen according to Christy on Modrotic on Gary's channel, that she's having her comments removed by Google mods, and same thing. It just happened to Chris in the chat today, who's a mod. And it's ironic, isn't it? Like Google's weird algorithm or whatever it is citing mods, targeting mods and removing their comments. Yet trolls are allowed impunity. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. I just think this is so topsy-turvy. What the hell's going on?
Last night I had them on 2 streams, actually. I just reported them. I didn't even react to them either. See, this is the thing, and I know some of them are listening now. See, here's the thing, right? You can come on to my stream and write up the most vilest thing, and then come on with a different account and say, well, I'm going to report your stream because you're allowing this chat to go on in your chat, right? If you think that's going to take my channel down, you're sadly mistaken. As soon as those vile comments go up, I report every single one of them. And then I report your dumbass as well. That's what I do. So you're not going to take down my channel, because basically what you are doing is you are harassing, and that's what I have you down as. And Dave has brought up about what we just spoke about on the channel earlier. Funko are discontinuing their Doctor Who license. Yeah, we did speak about that on the channel at the start of the stream. That is a sad indictment, indeed, if that is the case. I mean, Funko Pop, as has been mentioned by people that were on tonight, literally do everything. And to drop Doctor Who tells you, look, as I said, these people that defend this era, that spin the ratings and spin everything, they can no longer listen. Their arguments are out the window. They cannot defend this now. We did speak about, but Lee, I mean, look, it looks like that this is actually gathering pace. This latest news, I mean, it would be the biggest indictment of Doctor Who.
When a cultural phenomenon such as Funko Pops, which is like pervasive and ubiquitous as it gets, that literally produces a bunch of plastic on just about every mortal thing within pop culture, and it's singled out. I mean, I don't know what other franchises they've stopped producing product for, but Doctor Who is a big brand name which has now been completely dispensed with by this massive cultural phenomenon. This company must make a fortune on
I think Cheryl had a few Funko Pops of a couple of the new Who doctors herself, until our sister, obviously when she moved over here, her sister thought she wasn't coming back, so she actually put all her stuff into boxes and gave them away.
Quite right. But an intervention needed to happen.
In saying that, I mean, like, even Cheryl was a Funko Popper buyer. I've even seen some of the Funko Pops when I go in, when we were allowed to go into the city centre, of franchises that I didn't even know existed. The fact that they're discontinuing Doctor Who it does. That is, listen, the magazine was the same a few months back. We put up the tweets and we showed the evidence of that. I even did a little video on it at the time, which they tried to flag as well. I've noticed actually the videos that they're flagging are mostly all me videos on Serious 13 Rumors, but also on the ones where I talk about the merch sales down, the magazine begging people to subscribe. They're the videos, because they want those videos taken down because they don't want to hear the truth.
That's suppression. That's suppression. And that is desperation.
Those videos coming out now in the next few days and weeks, because I'm going to do new videos now. I'm going to be highlighting this whole Funko. Once I get more detail, I'm going to be doing a video on it. I'm going to be highlighting the Doctor Who magazine and its struggles. I'm going to refresh the memory of everybody, because I do believe right now these are the things that need to be discussed. I mean, it's a sad and
I'll tell you one reason why Doctor Who magazine is failing, right? And I think everyone here will agree, all right? That's how confident I am. The reason why it's failing, again, boils back down to the concept of normalcy bias. If Doctor Who magazine claims to be a magazine for the fandom, which it has always been until recently, they would have addressed the problems within this fandom and have at least a balanced approach to the current era. Not everyone is enjoying it, right? This is the house on fire again, right? You can't ignore it. By ignoring it, you are by default supporting this. Listen, I understand the BBC has control over things, but you know, what level of integrity are you willing to sacrifice in order to ignore the real issue within the fandom and what's going on within the show? That the criticisms are real, they exist, we exist. 57.2% of the audience dropped from the woman who fell to earth to the Timeless Children. That is not something being reported on in the default magazine of the show for the fans.
Exactly.
The fans are depleting because of what is happening. They're feeling disenfranchised and ignored.
But the reason why that is because a lot of them that work for that magazine have openly on Twitter.
They're complicit. That's what I'm saying. Their integrity is in question. If your integrity is in question, don't expect people to buy your magazine. If you're going to ignore all of these voices, they're not going to buy your magazine because they are feeling ignored.
Right? We're not saying that the voices that are in the magazine don't deserve to be heard. They can have their point of view. But the thing about it is what they've done is every single one of them think like that. They got rid of the old Tardis team as well, those writers, right, that were reviewing the show. I had a mix of young and older fans, right? So you had that balance. Same with the magazine. The magazine must have that balance. You must have people on opposite that have opposite.
And that's why I respect Doctor Who TV. You know, a very big fan website. It's not an official website, but it does have mixed voices, and they allow that. They allow people to review the episode, giving a positive point of view and a negative point of view, and they report on the numbers and the facts, and they give voice to both sides. And I think that is a testament to their integrity. I was very upset with them last year when they forgot Delgado's birthday, because they always usually mention people's birthdays. And it was, unfortunately, the timing was Delgado's birthday fell on the same day as The Timeless Children was broadcast. All right. So I guess there was a reason for that. But I mean, and again, that was another issue I had with that episode, that they even though it was a complete travesty, they could have at least dedicated it to the original master, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't. Thank God, actually. But I think that if that's the problem, the fandom is split. magazine that's supposed to represent the fandom is not representing all the fandom. It's a very closed shop. It's a closed circle jerk, if you ask me. And for me, I don't want to acknowledge something that refuses to believe my opinion has validity or speaks to me or for me in any way. It ignores me completely. I am not prepared to give money, especially to when they hire people like we know who actively suppresses people on Twitter and goes after and uses his clout.
That's what I like to try.
Not looking at anyone in particular, Benjamin Cook. So I mean, it's sad. That's where we're at. But is it surprising? No. And they need a wake-up call. The BBC, Panini, all of these people need a wake-up call. If you want to save that magazine, then you need to start addressing the issues currently within the fandom without calling people toxic or sexist, racist, bigots, or whatever it is. None of that rhetoric.
I think what you're trying to say is try to see the point of view of those fans that the magazine doesn't necessarily agree with, which would
and all they need to do is put a disclaimer to say we're publishing this, but we don't necessarily agree with what's being said. Fine, you can put a disclaimer at this, say these views are this person's and theirs alone.
Let those fans be heard, because
exactly.
It's not fair that you get a one-sided magazine, because other fans that don't necessarily
who's going to buy a magazine who's going to buy a magazine that has actively had staff gaslight and go after people on Twitter? Why would people give you money when you've insulted them?
And actually supporting known bullies in the family.
Bullies, yes. And don't forget, these people that they have supported, these bullies, are the very same people who've ruined all the tweet
alongs now.
On Twitter now. They've ruined it. She's not doing anymore because she can't take the flack. And she got flack from people that she herself has supported.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. And it doesn't take a lot to upset these people who are never happy or never satisfied.
My only issue with Emily Cook is when that happened, she should have stuck to her guns. She should have stuck to her guns and sent a message to this fandom. Yes, while I do know some of you might have a problem, but we're celebrating someone's work on Doctor Who. You mightn't like
not only his work, but the work of everyone else involved
as well. Yes, yeah. What about those people too? You're right, Lee. Sorry, the other people that were involved. So they shouldn't have their spotlight. It's disgraceful. I don't think she should have done that, but I'm glad she's made this decision now. But if you do miss, if you are going to miss Emily Cook's tweet alongs, don't forget on the Tardis Zone every Sunday, we do have New Who. We're on series 4 of the David Tennant era. We're about to do Partners in Crime. We did do Voyage of the Damned just recently. We'll be going all the way up to Peter Capaldi. So you will get your Doctor Who fix on this channel. And then for any Classic Who fans, or if you are a Classic Who and a New Who fan, we have Classic Who on Saturdays. So
plenty for everybody.
Greatest show in the galaxy coming up. So we got Classic Who and we've got New Who on this channel. So if you were a fan of the tweet alongs and you're listening to me right now and not in the chat, but if you are listening to me, come and join us on Sunday. We do have a nice chat. We have panels as well, different opinions, and it does be very good. So come and join us for them. I just thought I'd plug what we do, because I know it was actually great to see that when I put up the post about, well, we're going to do the Unicorn and the Wasp, that a lot of people that wanted to see that were disappointed that Emily didn't do it, ended up coming onto the channel and subscribing. So yeah, please do, because this is what we do on the channel. We don't just do Doctor Who source news and complain about the Chris Chibnall era. We do New Who, and we do Classic Who as well. So come and join
you're
us.
all welcome, you know. And look, we've had people who do support the current era come in
Yeah,
and support.
and every Wednesday and Friday, then you guys get a chance to come on to this channel and have your say. As Lee says, I have always prided myself of giving people a voice in this fandom that didn't necessarily have a voice.
That's how I started on here, you know.
And have ended up doing their own YouTube channels and have become an integral part of the whole fight against the destruction of our pop culture. But there are some channels out there that also put out some great content, like Daniel's channel and many others out there that do some great stuff. So yeah, I am proud of what we've done on this. I'm proud of the community as well. You are a lovely bunch of people, very supportive of each other. I know many of you have jumped to my defence, especially it really seems to have really intensified over the last 6-7 months. But you have been here with me daily, nightly, whenever I've been on, showing your support. I really appreciate all that, and I'll never forget it, to be quite honest with you. Yous have made an Irishman very happy, to be honest. I never envisioned when I started this all up that we'd be where we are, but we'll continue to do what we do. I'll continue to give you guys the opportunity to come on and have your say, because I do believe it's important, you know. And listen, here's the thing. When Series 14 comes around, and if Chris Chibnall is gone, there's a new team. We might actually, when we do our panels, have something positive to say. That's the thing, you know. I mean, even though I was slightly positive about the festive special, there was some out there on the J-Bot side that still weren't happy. They actually criticised me for being positive. I can't win. I can't win either way. But all I just want to say is, if Doctor Who becomes good again, becomes the show that I fell in love with as a kid and grew up watching as an adult during the New Who era, if it becomes good again, I'll be here talking positively about Doctor Who. That's all I want to do, right? Never. It breaks me heart having to, you know, come out and criticize an era of a show that, in my opinion, we should be heading to. We should be.
Yeah, we don't get joy out of this. You know, I mean, it's a case of necessity. You know, I mean, when I came out as someone who found issue with Series 11, you know, I think 5 episodes in, I was like, okay, this is just rubbish.
Yeah.
I made my voice known, you know, as you do in general. You know, you put your point of view across, you know, not being belligerent, you know, just saying, well, you know, I didn't like it because this, wait, but for this, that, and the other reason. And immediately I was set upon in this Facebook group and told to die of cancer, right? And it didn't stop there, right? I was chased out of that group into my DMs by the mod, the owner of the group, who then told me to die, and I wasn't welcome in the fandom, and then blocked me. And then that was pretty much the default position from a lot of these fanatics stands that went on for 3.5 years. The same sort of rhetoric, toned down a bit more generally, but you know, the general death wishes were there, palpable. And I find that's problematic, right? So when you create a scenario, a situation where you denounce half the fandom, tell them to shut up, go away, die of cancer, where are they supposed to go?
Yeah.
What are they supposed to just crawl under a rock and never be seen again, or die of cancer or something? Will that make you happy? No, what we do is we coalesce together. We voice our opinions amongst people who feel the same way as we do. There's nothing wrong with that. And even when we do that, they still refuse to accept or allow us our voices. And I'm sorry, if you are actively trying to prevent other people from expressing their opinions without wishing them death and all the rest of that shit, maybe the problem is with you. And maybe you are the problem, and maybe you are the fascist bigots. Because anyone who tries to shut me up is going to get my boot in their face, metaphorically. Right? So I'm sorry, that is not okay. You can back the fuck off. You can criticize me for speaking the way I do, but I will do it nonetheless. You have no right to tell me I cannot speak. And that goes for everyone else.
By the way, Big Finish is a must listen for Blake 7 fans. Grab your hymn, Ardent Jew. Our hero lives for free here. So they're giving away, well, they're letting you listen to
first episode.
Blake 7 audios for free until 23:59, and that's the 7th of March. So you got until 7th of March for any Blake 7 fans out there that want to listen to audios.
Avon lives.
I've tagged Daniel and Lee because I know he's our big Finnish fans.
Well, I'm a big fan of Blake 7. And,
so
I have
audios there. You never know; they might be good. I just thought I'd tag you in them anyway. Daniel just read me message there, so that's great. But I just thought I'd let you know because they do give some let you listen to free audios for a limited time, and that's you have to give credit where credit is due. I have to be honest. I just wish they'd stop pandering as well.
Well, it's the last recordings. Paul Darrow, who plays Avon, made before he passed away.
Probably
So
would be worth checking out exactly. But listen, we could go on all night, but we're not going to because, as I said, I'm on doggy duty and stuff. So we're gonna end it there. But I will be back on the Irish Geek tomorrow. We've got our movie stream falling down, so come and join me for that. I've already dropped the trailer for a preview of what's to come on the Tardis Zone on Twitter, my Facebook group, and obviously the Messenger group. I haven't thrown the trailer up on YouTube yet, but I'll get that up. And then what else have we got? Back on Friday then for the Tardis Zone Talks. We'll have a couple of streams, a couple of videos as well. A couple of things happening on the Irish Geek as well, so don't forget to subscribe to that. And for the people that are joining me from my gaming streams, thank you. That includes you trolls, because you're actually adding to me viewing. I'm actually not far away from me viewing numbers that I need now, so thank you, trolls. These have actually helped with the viewing figures, so that's and watch time hours. So that's fantastic. So now we just build the channel up now, and there will be a new Teddy video. I did record some video. I'll have to edit it and send it to Cheryl, and then she'll throw it up tomorrow at some stage. I'll get her to work tomorrow at some stage, and then she'll throw it up. So there'll be a video, because some people have asked, is there any more Teddy videos? We'll throw you up one.
I urge everyone to subscribe to the Irish Geek. More content will be coming.
If you haven't subscribed to the Irish Geek, that's my second channel. Please do, and share the channel as well, will you? Because for some weird reason I can't share the channel. I have to share a video on the channel. But you used to be able to share the channel. You could share the channel on the phone and on the Chromebook, but not anymore for some weird reason since the last couple of updates. So I can't share the channel unless I share stream. So if you could share the channel on whatever social media platform you're on, that would be absolutely fantastic. I think that's it, really. Lee, you want to plug your channel before we head off?
You can find my work at Audred Audiovisual, AUDRED Audiovisual, one word. And you can find me on the Twats at Being Problem. And you can also, there's a pinned tweet on there which links you to my music track featuring Heel versus Babyface. Give that a listen. It's a bit of an earworm, I'm led to believe, or an ear slug, as someone referred to it once, which I think is fantastic. And I had someone else saying it was reminiscent of DJ Shadow, which is a big compliment in my eyes. Anyway, there you are.
Fantastic. I just want to thank all my moderators as well, who kept the chat safe for everybody, I suppose. Unfortunately, yeah, I know there was a few that came in but dealt with straight away. Yeah, just from now on, if anything like that happens, you know what to do, guys, and everybody in the chat, just don't respond to them. They're looking for a reaction out of you, and if you don't give them a reaction, they soon get bored like they did. They actually went away pretty quick. Just don't give them oxygen. We don't talk about them at all. That's the way we're going to do things from now on. If, as I said, if they're that sad that they have to continue this campaign, it's been over like a year now with these particular ones. If they want to continue, let them. They're not going to stop. But the one thing I can do is ignore them. And that's what we're going to do on this channel. Be professional. That's it, right? So, I'll call them out on Twitter. The channel is not the place where they're going to be called out, because that's what they want me to do. They want me to call them out on my channel so they can report me for harassment. I'm not that stupid. I won't be doing that anymore. If I have anything to say, I'll say it on Twitter where it's happening. We'll be keeping the drama off this channel. And that's the way it's going to be. So listen, thanks to the mods. Thank you everybody in the chat that took part tonight. And everybody that came on. We're back on Friday. Now we will keep it going on the Wednesdays for a while to see how it goes, right? But Wednesdays and Fridays is the Tardis Zone Talks. So, if you've never been on, I keep saying this, StreamYard is not difficult to use. It's free. You can use the free version.
Nothing to download. You just, it's all browser. So, just click the link and that's all you need to do. Add an avatar if you want to. You don't have to. Boom. Just have a mic. You don't even have to have a camera if you don't want. So,
that's it. And you don't even have to have a mic. You can use your earphones. They just work just as well, or a headset. And come on, because this is what this is about, to give you guys a chance to come on and have your say. It's the one thing, as I said, that we like to do on this channel. I think that's what does separate us from most channels out there. People in the chat in channels don't normally get to come on a panel and discuss things or have their say. So that's one thing that I actually am proud of that we do on this. So Wednesdays and Fridays, 8 p.m. UK time from now on, back to the original time slot, 8 p.m. Come and join us. It'll be fantastic. And as I said, we got all those other things happening as well. Now I'm going to shut up and do the channel trailer, and we're going to leave you. So say good night, Lee.
Good night, Lee.
And it's a good night from me. And don't forget, they're scrolling across the screen, classic Who's On, the greatest show in the galaxy. That's this Saturday. Come and join us. It should be whopper. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Right, here's the channel trailer. Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye.